You're not lazy, your focus isn't broken, and you don't have a motivation problem. The real issue is that your brain has been rewired without your permission. It's not your fault. Think about it. Your phone buzzes, an email pops up, a new video autoplays. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with stimulation. Every notification, every ding, every little red bubble is a tiny interruption that pulls your attention away. Over time, your brain adapts. It learns to crave these interruptions, to seek novelty and quick hits of information instead of sinking into deep, meaningful work. This constant context switching trains your brain for distraction. It's like teaching a puppy to only respond to shiny, new toys, and then getting frustrated when it can't sit still for more than a minute. Your brain has been conditioned to jump from one thing to the next, making sustained focus feel almost impossible. You might feel like you're trying to run a marathon with your shoelaces tied together. But here's the good news. Just as your brain was trained for distraction, it can be retrained for focus. You have the power to take back control. So, how do we start? The first step is to understand a fundamental truth. Focus is a skill, not a talent. It's not something you're born with or without. It's something you train, like a muscle. Think about learning to play the guitar. At first, your fingers are clumsy, the chords sound terrible, and you can barely play for 5 minutes without getting frustrated. But with daily practice, your fingers get stronger, the muscle memory kicks in, and soon you're playing songs without even thinking about it. Focus works the exact same way. The brain has this incredible ability called neuroplasticity, which means it strengthens whatever pathways you use most often. If you constantly switch between tasks, you're strengthening the distraction pathways. Your brain gets really, really good at being distracted. But if you intentionally practice single tasking, you strengthen the focus pathways. Every time you resist the urge to check your phone, every time you bring your attention back to the task at hand, you're doing a rep for your focus muscle. It's not about being perfect from day one. It's about showing up and doing the reps day after day. You wouldn't expect to get a six-pack after one trip to the gym, so don't expect laser-like focus after one day of trying. It's a gradual process of building a powerful new habit. Now let's talk about the chemical that runs the show, dopamine. You've probably heard of it as the pleasure molecule, but it's really the motivation molecule. Where your dopamine goes, your attention follows. It's the brain's way of saying, hey, this is important. Pay attention to this. The problem is, our modern world is full of what we can call cheap dopamine. Social media likes, junk food, endless video streams. These things give you a quick, easy spike of dopamine with very little effort. Your brain loves it. It's like eating candy for every meal. It feels good in the moment, but over time, it wrecks your system. This constant flow of cheap dopamine desensitizes your brain's reward circuits. It raises your baseline, meaning that normal, everyday activities, like reading a book or having a deep conversation, start to feel boring and unrewarding. Why would your brain put in the effort to focus on a difficult task when it can get a much bigger, faster reward from scrolling through a feed? This is how cheap dopamine destroys your ability to concentrate. The antidote is earned dopamine. This is the satisfying feeling you get after completing a challenging workout, finishing a difficult project, or learning a new skill. It takes effort, but the reward is deeper and more sustainable. By intentionally pursuing activities that provide earned dopamine, you start to recalibrate your brain's reward system, making focus not just possible, but enjoyable again. So if cheap dopamine is the problem, what's the solution? How do we begin this recalibration process? The answer is simpler than you think. Silence. And I don't just mean a quiet room. I mean digital silence. Your brain heals and rebuilds in the absence of constant stimulation. Think of it like a cluttered room. If you keep throwing new things into it, you'll never be able to organize it. You have to stop, take everything out, and then intentionally decide what to put back in. Your brain is the same. By creating pockets of silence in your day, you give your neural pathways a chance to reset. This is where the real rewiring for deep focus happens. When you're not constantly being bombarded with new information, your brain can process, consolidate, and strengthen the connections needed for sustained attention. What does this look like in practice? It could be turning off your phone for the first hour of the day. It could be going for a walk without headphones. It could be sitting with a cup of coffee and just thinking, without any device in sight. At first, this silence might feel uncomfortable, even boring. That's a sign that your brain is so used to stimulation that it doesn't know what to do without it. But if you stick with it, you'll find that this silence becomes a sanctuary. It becomes the space where your best ideas emerge, where you feel most calm, and where your ability to focus is reborn, stronger than ever. Putting this all together, the final key is realizing that consistency beats intensity every single time. Grand gestures and extreme motivation are exciting, but they're not what rewires your brain. You can't just decide to do a dopamine detox for a weekend and expect to be fixed. The real, lasting change comes from small, daily systems. Simple habits, repeated consistently, are what reprogram your neural pathways. Instead of trying to meditate for an hour a day, start with just 1 minute. Instead of swearing off your phone forever, start with a no-phone rule for the first 30 minutes of your morning. Maybe you set a timer for 25 minutes of focused work, followed by a 5-minute break. This is the famous Pomodoro technique. It's not about the intensity of the 25 minutes. It's about the consistency of doing it every day. These small, repeatable actions are the building blocks of a focused mind. They lower the barrier to entry, making it easy to get started and stay on track. Each time you complete your small habit, that 1 minute of meditation becomes 5, then 10. That 30-minute phone-free morning becomes an hour. Before you know it, you've fundamentally rewired your brain for focus, not through sheer willpower, but through the gentle, powerful force of daily habits. You didn't just break the old patterns, you built new, better ones. Thanks for watching, and if this was helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.